I did experience shock and denial for stage 1 when I found out what I found out, and I'll keep that to myself out of respect to my ex-spouse. But yes, I did experience that initially. And then I think stage 2 fear and stage 4 bargaining, I actually sat in that, a combination of that for probably a year. So meaning I was scared of what would happen, what this meant for our marriage. Could I leave? Should I not? That was really scary.
Should you leave? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I felt like, could you leave?
Could you leave? But then should you?
I felt like I didn't know if I could, right? And the bargaining, interestingly enough, was with myself more so than my ex-spouse. I kept bargaining with myself. I could put up with this. I could deal with that. Maybe would it be fine with me to just go along with this for the rest of my life? Can I forgive and forget for the sake of the kids? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me, and I need to deal with myself. This is my fault. So I did a lot of that for about a year. And then weirdly enough, after that, when I decided to get a divorce, I jumped to acceptance, right? I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. I can get through this divorce. And then again, it just weirdly for me, right? Everybody has their unique process and order. At the end, when the divorce was over, that's when I had my sadness and grief. Like it was the death, right? Mourning the death of my marriage that came at the end. So even though I wanted it, I went through that sadness and that grief like it's over. How about you? What'd you experience?
So you're saying that sadness and that grief didn't come in even little bits earlier on though for you?
I mean, little bits here and there, but I think it really hit me at the end when it was finished.
Yeah. For me, I think it was acceptance earlier on. Just going, you know what, this is what I'm wanting. I'm committed to it. Maybe there was some fear of like, can I do this? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be able to support my son? What's that going to look like?
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. And so I'm, plotting out all these different, well, if this happens or that happens or how this is going to, my family's all back in Australia. So I think, maybe that fear did come from myself. But I think then once I kind of, went through it in my head a few times there was that acceptance where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to really be able to control the unknown. I'm not going to be able to control some of these hypotheticals, whether they're some fantasies or just the unknown, like how's the other person going to react or what's going to happen, or having seen other divorces play out, is that going to happen to me? I think it's this acceptance of it for me at that point. And it's like, let's try and make this try and make the best case scenario out of it. Okay. And we've spoken about beforehand about, I guess, having the best post-divorce or, best post-relationship there. So I think that came next for me. So, so there was that anger and I guess, some of that bargaining, whether or not like, hey, can we make this work or what would be needed to make this work? There was some anger in there as we kind of got into dealing with some of the finances.
Yeah, there always is some anger. I didn't mention that, but yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
And I've mentioned this beforehand. I think it got to the point where it's like, you know what, I want you to have what you've got there, and I'll keep what I've got, and we'll just kind of move on there, because I was trying to still, at that point in time, I was trying to think of the big picture of like post-divorce. We've got a young child together, so we're going to be, like it or not, we're going to be stuck with each other in a co-parenting relationship. And I wanted to have that in the best co-parenting possible there. So
that's part of your acceptance.
Yeah, that's right.